surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, God damn it, my life has value.
Coming up on our broadcast today, we'll be focusing on one major event. And of course, you will have your say. As always, you'll determine the discussion, the trend, and how we'll be addressing a number of other issues during the course of our program this afternoon. In other words, as usual, you'll be dictating what happens going forward. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin, on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Don't forget to continue to help us grow the channel. That's the YouTube channel by liking the videos, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell, and that is to help it grow. Amanda is already here. She'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room. She's doing that right now, and she'll be reporting periodically. And likewise, I'll be taking your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. We trust you had yourself an enjoyable weekend, and you're all set for another week of challenges. So yesterday, there was this live on Facebook that was undertaken by Minerva Ward, well-known supporter of the United Workers' Party. And it centered around a particular issue which surfaced with an allegation that was made by a reporter, Eldris Charles, on August the 19th. And you would have heard her make that claim during a call to NewsSpin. And I was very careful, because in such circumstances, there must not be a rush to you concluding whether there's a veracity you can give to a claim that is being made by somebody, and even a claim is being made and the other person is denying. You're caught in the middle, because you're not privy to the circumstances, and also you're not privy to the facts as well. So you're hoping that things will unfold in due course, in this case with footage and video and eyewitnesses, if they could come forward. So that was a hell of an allegation that was made by Miss Charles during that call to NewsSpin. I was taken aback, I was shocked, and definitely I just wanted more information to be released. We heard subsequently from the Speaker of the House making reference to the footage, and the quote attributed to him is, "My cooperation," that's in that particular allegation of assault by Eldridge Charles. According to him, quote, "My cooperation is premised on a number of things," because the police wanted the video. If you're making an allegation, the police would want to get the CCTV video to substantiate it and to facilitate them in the investigation. So the quote being attributed to the Speaker, and many of you are privy to it, you'll hear from him also during the course of our program. He says, quote, "My cooperation is premised on a number of things. That when the police review the footage and find nothing, that Ms. Charles will be charged for wasting police time and making a false accusation. But the footage shows none of what she alleges." We've had a denial as well from Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Remember, Ms. Charles is claiming that she was assaulted by the government minister, and he has denied it. But first, let us listen to Ms. Charles, that brief clip of her making the allegation against Dr. Ernest Hilaire.
Literally put his hand on my back and pushed me out of the parliament, asking me to step outside because he said I was protesting. Literally put his hand on my back and pushed me out of the parliament, asking me to step outside because he said I was protesting.
So that's Eldridge Charles. The denial being made by Dr. Ernest Hilaire.
She said I pushed her out of parliament. That is categorically untrue. I think there's also a clip circulating showing, what happened. And, that's it. I have heard talk of that there was going to be a complaint for criminal assault. The police has not contacted me. I have not received any notice of this.
That's Dr. Ernest Hilaire. So one would have anticipated that matter would have been put into the domain or into the hands of the police. That if somebody has made a report of assault to the police, they would step in and conduct their investigation with a view to determine whether charges should be pressed against anyone. But lo and behold, we had somebody was making pronouncements that clearly were unwarranted. And he was right in condemning that action. And I'm referring there to former Deputy Police Commissioner, Mr. Herman Guild Francis. And he was taking his own brother to task, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Claudius Francis. But there's been a video that was released, much anticipated, was released by Miss Minerva Ward yesterday during her Facebook Live presentation. So we will watch the video and we will hear from Mr. Claudius Francis subsequent later.
My cooperation is
We'll play the video again. We'll just play the video. So those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, you will see. But on those of you listening on radio, you will not hear anything. But it's instructive that you watch the video once again, which was played by Miss Minerva Ward.
My cooperation is premised on a number of things. That when the police review the footage and find nothing, that Miss Charles will be charged for wasting police time and making a false accusation. But the footage shows none of what she alleges.
Now, based on what we saw, and we'll play the footage again, based on what we saw, you could see that Dr. Ernest Hilaire is using his right hand, is actually pushing Eldridge Charge outside of the Parliament building. That is what the footage shows. And already we've had denials. Some people are claiming that that video was doctored. Some people are claiming also this was generated by AI. But I think to the ordinary man, you could see that this is some CCTV video. That is the conclusion that any reasonable people can draw as far as this video is concerned. It is for law enforcement to make a determination as to the way forward. The allegations being made by Eldridge Charles against the Deputy Prime Minister and MP for Castries South. If it comes to that, I think lawyers will be coming into the picture and so on, and then we could have a final outcome. Well, the lady who was at the center of this latest issue involving the release of that video is Minerva Ward, and we'll try to establish contact with her at this point in time. I think she's on the line. Hello, good afternoon to you, Miss Ward. Are you on the line?
Yes, Tim. Good afternoon
yes,
to you and your listeners.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us on this very sensitive subject. But we have a sequel. We have a new development in this particular scenario. But first of all, I must say that I'm surprised, I'm shocked that you were able to lay your hands on that particular video. Obviously, kind of ask you to reveal your source, but it's very interesting that you're able to get that video. What say you?
Right. Tim, I will just tell you that my source is just as concerned as I am, and I think a lot of St. Lucians, on what appears to be a cover-up in St. Lucia of things where things get buried, they're allowed to die, they never see the light of day, and the victims never get justice. We've seen it in so many instances. Tim, we've seen it in the death of Tyson. It's 2 months later and we're still waiting for a definitive statement from the authorities. We've seen it in a case where we have a senior police officer who is under investigation, still under active investigation for sexual assault, and he's still on active duty. We've seen in the case of Minister Ernest Hilaire, there have been so many instances. In Parliament, he stood up when confronted with the $1 year lease and basically spun all around the world and never answered the question. We've seen a prime minister going to the courthouse and saying he came to see that justice was served. We've seen so many cover-ups. In this matter, we've seen the Speaker of the House, Claudius Francis, preempt the outcome of the investigation, make statements on what is and is not on the video, and even make pronouncements that reporter Eldridge Charles should be arrested, and his cooperation with the police is conditional, is contingent upon the police guaranteeing that she will be arrested if the video does not show what he says it does not show. Myself is very concerned about, and I think a lot of us in Lucians are rightly concerned, that justice is being denied in our country. There's been a perversion of our justice system, and the real victims never get justice, Tim. And this looks like another case of that happening if this video did not come out. And I truly believe that based on what we have seen in this video, that this government would have just allowed this matter to die and would never see the light of day. Eldridge Charles, her reputation was already being damaged. She was being called a liar, including by the Speaker of the House, who basically said she lied. Ernest Hilaire said she lied. And the facts have come out now that the lady was telling the truth all along. So,
but
I think a lot of us are rightly concerned.
somebody's already asking in the chat room, Tim, what if it is proven the video was AI generated?
Tim, the video is not AI generated. The video is not doctored. And if anybody believes that this is AI or doctored, I challenge, and all of us should call upon the authorities. Now that this piece is out there in the public domain, they have a duty and a responsibility to release the full video footage, the full video with the audio. I challenge them to do that. Do not cherry pick the parts that are convenient for them to put out. Release the full video footage with the audio for all of us to see. This is not AI. It is not manipulated. This is what actually happened, and I challenge the authorities. Release the full video. If a piece of it is already out there, you have a duty now to let the public see and judge for themselves the full video with the audio.
What say you two people who might conclude that you jeopardize that particular case, the investigation, through the release of that video?
Tim, I didn't jeopardize the matter at all. The Speaker of the House had already made pronouncements and determined what the outcome should be or would be. I am not the one who jeopardized the outcome of the case. The video still speaks for itself. The full video will still speak for itself if this ever makes the light of day in court. And we've seen so many cases buried by a system that is controlled and manipulated by the powers that be in St. Lucian society. We've seen it, Tim. There are so many instances way beyond the scope of this program right now. But, Tim, I will say to you, Claudius Francis, the Speaker of the House, by making statements that preempt the outcome of the investigation and making pronouncements on what the outcome will be, is the one who has jeopardized and compromised the outcome of the investigation. And that is why I am so concerned. That is why my source has been so concerned. That is why the St. Lucians are rightfully concerned that this young lady would have never gotten justice. And if pressure was not being brought to the authorities like it is now with the release of this thing, she would have never seen justice served.
What do you expect to happen now that you have released that video?
Tim, now that it is in the public domain and people are speaking out, I expect that pressure will be made to bear on the authorities, and they will have no choice than to make a full statement. And I hope St. Lucians from all walks of life, no matter your political affiliation, demands from the government the full video footage so we all can review the entirety, including the audio for ourselves. Till it cannot be that the people entrusted to create laws in the highest offices of our land, our parliament, will, number one, assault a reporter, put his hand on her back to shove her out of the parliament. Tim, that is not his role. So that you have one issue here. You have another issue where he's blatantly lying in the House of Parliament about what has happened. You have a cover-up by the Speaker who is lying again to cover up his friend, a Minister of Government. Tim, if this is not concerning to all of us here, then we need to take a pause and think about our role as citizens of St. Lucia, because this is serious, and we need to act. The government needs to act. St. Lucians need to put pressure on the government to act. And not just in this instance, Tim. This is a broader issue of systemic failures and systemic cover-ups to protect those guys, to ensure justice is never seen. You have so many women who have been raped, sexually assaulted, victimized, attacked, and the entire system and machinery of this government shifts to protect those men. There's a broader issue here to protect their bodies, to protect Ernest Hilaire. You've seen all kinds of shifting in so many matters, especially where Ernest Hilaire is concerned, to protect him and ensure that justice is never done. Cover-ups over cover-ups, Tim. And as citizens of our beloved country, we need to rise up and make a collective and strong statement to this government that this will not be allowed to happen. That our very justice system, one of the guardrails of one of the fundamental foundations of our democracy is at risk under this government. And we as citizens cannot allow it. Once we allow those things to happen, they become normalized. And we need to speak out collectively against it and take a hard and strong stance against it, Tim.
Final comments from you, Ms. Ward?
Tim, I just call it again, I want to reiterate, this is non-political, this is non-partisan. All solutions need to reflect on what is happening in our country and our society. And if we say silent, our silence means we are complicit in this. We need to put aside political lines and political colors and understand the degradation of our judicial system and our democracy, Tim. And we need to take a hard stance against and speak out. And I expect to hear lots of calls to your program and other programs this entire week. And we can't let it die after just 1 week, Tim. This has to be a collective movement for all solutions at home and abroad to protect our democracy and protect the very foundation of that, which is our judicial system.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking with us on this afternoon's NewsSpin program. Thank you so much. We just heard there from Miss Minerva Ward, all the way in Canada, and communicating with us on the release of that video yesterday during a Facebook Live presentation. Let's open the lines right now to take our calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And we hope, if not today, but in time, we could get a reaction from some of the other players, the likes of Miss Eldris Charles, as well as Dr. Ernest Hilaire, and the Speaker of the House, Mr. Claudius Francis. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
A miracle happened today.
Good afternoon to you, Rick.
A miracle. Tim, you see, there's a saying, Tim, that you cannot correct bad subtractions by doing your additions right. If the Speaker had stopped by now, imagining himself a lawyer, and just stuck to being a speaker, we might not be in this another conundrum, not another problem. If the police, in fact, because we don't know any of those things is true, huh?
Yeah.
If the police, in fact, called, asked to for the footage from the House meeting, from the House, whatever, and let us say he asked the Speaker, which might be true. If he's going to ask anyone, he might ask the House Speaker, or he might ask the head of GIS, or he might ask the government minister, the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
All of those. Well, then, all the Speaker, if with his legal mind, all he should have done, I mean, I don't know nothing about law, and I know that was a stupid thing for Claudius to do. All he had to do was inform, and in writing too, Tim, instruct whoever is responsible for the footage. Instruct them, and he should do that in writing for the record. No?
Yes.
He should also have the request from the police on the record, because those are parliamentary matters. No?
Yes. So then you have a paper trail, because no doubt you have long-term implications. You have precedent as well. So you have a reference point.
But you see, Tim, when you've gotten away with things a number of times, you get used to the idea that you're always going to get away, like the people who go around killing people and nobody gets arrested. By now they're convinced they're smarter than the police. By now they're convinced they'll never get caught. And that in itself is a promoter of crime, right?
That's the feeling, yeah.
The number of things that Claudius has been involved with parliamentarily, like, for example, going to court and the court decision of Alan Jasny, right? If you were to visit Hansard, you won't find anything about the case or that Alan, who was given, the government, we taxpayers had to pay Alan's costs, or who paid Claudius's costs himself. All of that should be on the record, it's called accountability. Well, I ain't seen nothing like that in Hansard, and I've never even heard a discussion around that in Parliament. Have you?
No, I haven't.
The last you heard of that
and also maybe that's an issue for even the finance minister as well, because you're talking about the finances of the state.
I'm coming to that, Tim. I'm coming to that. So if the speaker did his job as he was supposed to, as he is supposed to do it, we would not be getting into these problems after problems after problems. And we have a lot of them. So listen carefully to his little speech. Listen carefully to his little speech. So many things reporters want to know that are important to the day-to-day living in this country. We cannot get a minister to answer, or we get rude answers, or none at all, etc. But this matter, he figures he should be doing it on video. And he says his cooperation, which sounds to me very, well, what surprise. That is kind of pompous, Tim. The police, something is reported to the police.
More than that, Rick, I think it is revealing. If you understand the nuances of the words that he used.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it, huh?
Yeah, it's quite revealing. My cooperation is premised on a number of things. So
Stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there. I understand that to mean he cooperated only because the police agreed to certain conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
And I'm interpreting that to mean as well. My interpretation is, if things were playing out in a different manner, I probably would not have cooperated. You understand? Right?
There you go.
Something inspired me to cooperate because it does not show a particular individual or individuals in a bad light.
You see, Tim, I'm going to give. I never like to speculate. I'm well known for that. But in this instance, I have to do a little speculating, and I call it speculating. In fact, I better not speculate. He says on video that, I'm paraphrasing him, that I agreed to cooperate with the police. What did the police want of him? The police requested, he said, footage.
Yeah.
So I only agreed to give them the footage because they agreed that if they don't find on the footage what the girl claims, they will charge her. Charge her with what? And look at who is talking about charging people.
But he says he says that for wasting police time and making a false accusation.
All of those kind of things that you determine is wasting police time. You know what that means? That if you suspect something is going on, whatever, at your house or whatever, or you think somebody is hanging around your house and whatever, and you think the worst because things have been going around there, and you go report it to the police, and the police do their investigation, and they say, well, you have no reason to fear, everything is all right. So the police could then say you wasted that time? How do you determine when you are wasting police time? I thought that's what the police was there for, to investigate complaints.
Mm-hmm.
But here is the Speaker of the House telling the whole world that he only agreed to pass on the footage because he had an arrangement with the police. And the police have agreed that if what the girl claims is not on the video, they will charge her. I mean, this is so egregious. And I suspect none of it is true, Tim. All of that, I suspect, is bravado, talking bullshit. I suspect none of it is true. And I'm on good ground saying none of it is true because I'm also suspecting there's no written request from the police. That I wonder who the policeman is who requested it. You know, we've had this with that speaker before, you know. You remember the time that the speaker claimed his life was threatened? He was not speaker then.
I remember.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Am I you there, Tim?
Yes, I'm there. I'm there. I said I remember. And many people can recall.
Well, you're always quoting from Vernon Francois' book.
Yeah.
But I don't have to quote from it. I was there. I lived through it. He said his life was threatened by a certain MP. Vernon Cooper said he's not the one who called Claudius and gave him information, etc. Claudius came to the police station vested up. He already had his bulletproof vest on and everything else, etc. And you know what else he says in the book? That none of that made any sense. As a matter of fact, that particular case, in that particular case, the deputy political leader at the time, who happens to be Philip Pierre, actually wrote to Prime Minister King, making demands on him because this member of the party had been threatened. And that threat, the whole thing just evaporated, as have a lot of other things. But going back to this thing, since the Speaker has not shown us any evidence that anything was ever requested of him, since he has not told us how he found out that what the girl claims is not in the tape, because he says that, he says,
but the footage shows none of what she alleges.
In other words, he has examined the footage.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the police have not. Because if the police find so-and-so, they will charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see how much BS in there? And this guy is Speaker of the House with all of those prejudices. Then we have no choice but to revisit Bazooka. I will do anything to protect my party. I know Mr. Nice Guy. And all the stuff that adds up over and over and over, it is clear that the gentleman is the wrong guy for that job, for the Speaker's chair. But we keep on going. And you asked also, will Minerva's publication of the
compromise the investigation?
And there's no case, Tim. You can't compromise. There's no case. There's no charge. How can you compromise what does not exist? You get me?
No, I'm saying
Nobody
compromise because Rick, I'm assuming she made a report to the police. The police, maybe they're still in the throes of investigating whatever claim that she made.
That's not a charge.
Or it's done. Or it's done. A done deal.
You see what I'm saying? There's no case before no court. So she can't prejudice anything. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no the police have not even determined there is a case, as far as we know. And I love I regret very much what Minerva said. The list she gave you of atrocities, of kicks and spitting in the face of the public, in Fair Helen's face, to quote the cliche. Killing after killing after killing after killing, year after year after year, no resolution. Mothers walking up and down with all kinds of placards and crying and begging and appealing and praying, leaving it to God that this will happen. Nada happens. We are told, the insult of saying to us that an autopsy on a dog, an animal, would have taken as long as this did. You would have thought that the government would pull every stop to facilitate the explanation of Tyson's death as quickly as possible. But you see, and I'm not going to say the government, politicians generally, they know our people.
Not even when it involved a dog that was gifted to St. Lucia by the French authorities. Not even that would have prompted the St. Lucia government and by extension the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to fast track that process.
One more point before I go. It seems that I keep hearing people could push out of Parliament. The minute you lay your hands on a woman in particular, a man lays down a woman, that is serious stuff. Okay? The minute you lay your hands on her. If you lay your hand on a man as well, you assaulted him. But the matter of a man laying his hand on a woman has all kinds of connotations. So you don't have to push her out the door. You don't have to this, not. And in all of this, I am not pronouncing guilt on anybody.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I am just stating what we have before us and what it looks like, because we can read, we can see with our eyes and all that kind of stuff. And in today's age, the easiest thing in the world is to claim something is AI, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to prove it's AI. And of course, you will get the complicit percentage of St. Lucia insisting it's AI. These are people who don't even know a money from a bird. But they know all about AI and everything else. But it's for the police to prove to us that this is a false statement. And as she said, what is it that would stop the police playing 3 or 4 seconds of a tape and reassure the public mind that the police are not what most people think they are, Protoma Kucha of the government? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. A police officer just sent me some material, wasting of police time as far as legislation is concerned. A person who A, makes a report to the police about the alleged commission of a crime which he or she has reasonable cause to believe is false, or B, knowingly makes to the police a false report tending to show that a crime has been committed or to give rise to apprehension for the safety of any person or property, or tending to show that he or she has information material to any police inquiry, commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $1,000 or to imprisonment for 1 year. Let's continue with your calls. 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good day, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
It's amazing, eh? I for one, Tim, if the party that I support, the members do what they are not supposed to do, they behave wrongly towards any female team, I will do 2 things. I will either keep quiet about it, or I will speak out against it. But I will not defend it, Tim, just because it's coming from the people whom I support. This thing is on social media, and if you see the kind of comments that is coming out of that thing from women like the reporter herself, you understand? It gives me that feeling that we have, I don't know, Tim, we've gone. We are nowhere underneath this government. Today I receive, I think I sent it to you, and it's coming from the ministry team. Well, as far as I can see, it's the title on it is from the ministry. The letter header. It says Government of St. Lucia, Ministry of Education, Sustainable Development, Innovation, Science, Technologies, and Vocational. Tim, one of the things I would like to highlight on that thing, it says implementation of the St. Lucia Student Deportment Policy. Please be advised that the St. Lucia Student Deportment Policy will be circulated within the upcoming days for immediate implementation. This policy seeks to establish clear and consistent standard that promotes student dignity, inclusivity, and positive learning environment across all schools. So the highlight thing in that thing, I think the part that says that in the interim school administration and are instructed to ensure that no student team is sent home or denied access to classes on the basis of hairstyle. Additionally, students must not be required to cover their hair as a condition for entry or continued participation in school activities. So everything we have in this country, our moral really is being taken away. There's no such thing as morality in this country. So there's nothing that ought to be positive, really, because as far as I know and I understand, you ought to train up a child in the way he or she ought to go. Now, by you removing those basic things that guide students and children and parents to a certain extent in making sure that the child behaves or the appearance of the child is up to standard, it tells me that right now we will reach at a state where children can come to school, their hair not combed, they can come with all kind of bugs in their hair, and you will not be able to tell them or do anything about it. It tells me that even in the workplace team right now, you're already seeing it. You know, I did security for quite a number of years, and the time I worked in security was the face of the company. But the time you walk in the place, you're supposed to see a security greeting you, well-dressed, well-groomed and everything. That was what it was, team. Now you've seen people with their securities at the door, if they're pants on their backside, they come into work with something like a track pants on them. You know, their hair in a mess, team.
Anything goes.
That's something that we had to get out of the window. What was so wrong in looking modest, team? You were saying?
No, I say anything goes now. But anyway, caller, we have to take a break. Thank you so much for your contribution. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. And of course, Amanda, an update is long overdue. We will be hearing from her in just a moment. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Hey Lucilek, Sherry here. I've been hearing all about my account and its features. Can you really do all that?
Absolutely, Sherry. I'm Taisha, by the way. My account is your all-in-one power hub. You can check your bill. It's even emailed to you every month. Need a copy? You can download a PDF version anytime. You can manage multiple accounts and paying is a breeze. Use your card or opt for online bank payments. Thank you. Whatever suits you best. Keeping tabs on your energy use? You got it. Track your consumption, download payment records, and see how you stack up against previous months and others nearby.
Thanks for breaking it down A1, Taisha.
You got it, Sherry. My account puts the power in your hands. Remember, it's your energy, your way.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
The National Insurance Corporation is now even closer to you. We've opened a brand new branch at the Blue Coral Mall in the heart of Castries. Our new location is more spacious, more convenient, and designed with you in mind, making your visits faster, easier, and more comfortable. Whether you're submitting a claim, checking your contributions, or planning for retirement, we're here to serve you better. With branches on the Castries waterfront, Rodney Bay, Viewport, Soufriere, and now our brand new location at Blue Coral Mall in Castries. Getting service from the NIC has never been more convenient. So, visit us today. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
Let's Bet Sports is turning up the heat this CPL season with a sizzling on-ticket island-wide promotion. Bet just $10 online or in-store and score a letter coupon with every ticket. Collect the letters FLY and you're jetting off to an ultimate cricket experience at the CPL Finals in Guyana. An all-expense paid trip for two, tickets to the finals, and $500 in your pocket. Plus, win match tickets, cricket jerseys, and cash prizes on the road to the finals. It's game time from August 4th to September 14th. Claim your prize at the SNL office in Gablewoods Mall, Castries. Play, win, fly to Guyana with Let's Bet Sports. Powered by the St. Lucia National Lottery. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. A few comments from me, Tim, and NewsSpinner says here. So who is the police going to arrest now that we have seen the footage? A commentator reads, these guys have no soul, no conscience. A NewsSpinner says here, my response to the speaker on his claims is, now that the footage has proven that both he and the minister lied, they should not wait for anyone to ask them to resign. A commentator reads, Alvina Reynolds stood by watching all of that without saying a word now or then. The hypocrisy of those so-called Christians and human rights activists. Someone says here, picture a nation where power shields the guilty and condemns the innocent, where truth is silenced and even the blameless can waste away in prison. A chilling reality for St. Lucia. A commentator says, as expected, the usual suspects will say that the video was edited. A commentator reads, can the speaker be charged for wrong information? Commentary says, is the minister the security for parliament? Someone says there, that's not AI generated. Stop trying to push the narrative. When the other video was released, why didn't they question the validity back then? Someone says there, they allowed my complaints against the belligerent minister to die while I am persecuted and oppressed for defending myself. A new spinner says there, well said Minerva, on point. Our country is sinking. We need to rise out of this mess in St. Lucia. Someone says there, why wasn't the speaker questioned when he made his statements on the issue before the investigating team? Who is leading whom and who is investigating whom? A commentary reads, video footage is no longer admissible in court. Someone says here, that's in an effort to create doubt in the minds of the gullible and to provide a distraction. A new spinner says here, team, how can the truth jeopardize the outcome? Justice must always appear to be fair to everyone. Commentary says, this is far-reaching. The young lady could have gone to prison innocently. This can happen to any one of us. Commentary says, the truth is the truth. You can't attempt to sway the narrative to your liking, but the truth remains the truth. Minerva is correct on this one. Someone says there, it's the insinuation on the part of the speaker and trying to push a narrative even before the investigation is done. How reckless can one be? A commentary says, words are important. Pay keen attention to what was said and what hasn't been said, and who is pushing a specific narrative. St. Lucians stand on the right side of history. A wrong is a wrong. A commentary says the speaker refuses to behave himself and stay in his section. A new spinner says he agreed to cooperate with police. Mr. Speaker, you had no choice but to cooperate with the police when it comes to matters of the people's house. A commentary says he is also directing the police. The job of the police is to bring the matter before the courts. It's not their duty to determine justice. A commentary says the speaker insinuated and pushed the narrative even before the investigation was done. The speaker should be impartial and law-abiding. A commentary reads, in the famous words of Guy, since when that's your role? Bring back impartiality and fairness to the seats of the speaker. A commentary says the police job is to protect and serve, so if they have to investigate an incident, whether true or false, you call that wasting their time? A commentary says listening to NewsSpin on this Labor Day feels great. A commentary says, Integrity Commission, where are you? A few comments here from YouTube. Someone says here, how do these people look at themselves in the mirror? Another one, that so-called speaker needs to be held accountable. That's defamation, false accusations. A commentary says, good, now the evidence cannot just disappear in thin air. A new spinner says via YouTube, some people were so quick to crucify the woman. Another commentary reads, is this the victory we are supposed to protect? Someone says here, I'm not surprised. Some people always find excuses for unacceptable behavior. And the commentary from YouTube reads, not a government, it is a dictatorship. St. Lucia belongs to us, not just to those making legislations. St. Lucia is in trouble. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Some more updates still to come. In the meantime, WhatsApp calls and messages. Somebody says there, why would the minister take it upon himself to remove Eldris? That is the role of the sergeant of arms. What was Dr. Hilaire thinking? 4522979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says, I only have one thing to say to the St. Lucia Labour Party. Why is it that now election is coming up that you guys see to make improvements? It is understandably too late. And any Lucian who doesn't see that individual needs help. WhatsApp message, some more. Another comment there. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. One basic requirement for participating in food and nutrition practical class is that your head be covered. What does that mean in the context of the wording of this so-called policy? Some more of your messages. Somebody says there, great show all the time. Rick made a lot of sense, but I want to ask Dr. Hilaire, when will he come and apologize to St. Lucia? And Claudius Francis, when will he stop protecting the victory? There is evidence, and did the reporter give him permission to touch her? I also want Miss Reynolds, when I am sure she is in the video, what's her take? And let's see if we have some more of your messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I hope Miss Charles does not accept warranchement or out-of-court arrangement. Another one. If the Speaker claims he had all barriers to the Parliament removed, what right does Ernest Healy have to tell any citizen to exit the People's Parliament? And secondly, ask yourself the question that if a citizen puts their hands on a police officer, as he did the reporter, would that not be considered battery or assault? Some more of your messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, hello. When will, just bear with me, try again to get this call on. Somebody says, good afternoon. When will government give to the children the promised banana a day? Please stop fooling our children. The children are still awaiting the banana a day. All right, we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
I'm just
Yes, caller. I'm not hearing you too clearly, you know. Hello? Hello?
Let me switch.
452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says that, Tim, my concern also was the speaker indicated to the reporters that as he is speaking to them, the tape was being downloaded by the police from the IT unit. But in the interview, he's already saying the tapes do not contain what Ms. Charles claimed. How does he know that? And let's see if we can take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Yes, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon to you, Amanda.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, caller.
Yeah. No, I see. Looking at the clip, I mean, it's a sad moment for was the Speaker of the House.
Mm.
I mean, that's just looking at it and then seeing the outcome of the footage. I mean, the Speaker of the House, I think, is incompetent because you, by right, I mean, he should know better. You know what I mean? You're supposed to let the law or the thing take its course instead of making a statement like that, trying to bring out the outcome. You know what I mean? And he should be looking back at that and like, you know what I mean? Like, he's and he's not supposed to be in his position right now. And that's sad. He's supposed to come out now and show respect to the public and make an apology of his misjudgment.
All right, caller. Where are you calling from?
Canada.
Okay, all right.
Tim, one more thing.
Go ahead, please.
I watch a clip, man, and well, like somebody posted on social media, and some woman claiming like, oh, Richard Frederick is like a god sent from heaven. I say some of us in St. Lucia, like, they're really mentally unstable, man. To make such a statement, a man that come on this show every day and disrespect people and threaten people. You telling me, you as an individual, as a parent, making such a statement saying like, he's like nah, man, St. Lucia, nah, man, something's wrong. Mentally wrong. I don't know where we're heading, but wrong direction. All right, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. All the best to you. Thank you so much for calling all the way from Canada. Let's see if you have it on the call. Hello, good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm okay, caller. How about you?
Not so good, Tim. After listening to the Speaker of the House, we really something really needs to be done about that Speaker we have in St. Lucia, and it appears to me, Tim, that nobody of clout, you know, I mean, apart from Rick putting his points and your everyday caller like myself, which will not result in much, Tim.
What do you expect? What do you expect? You expect to hear from what? The president of the Bar Association? Do you expect to hear from the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, without a doubt. Yes, Tim, because this man is making pronouncements like a judge, even outside of a case. you know. So I don't understand how it is that this man is saying he is providing the police with or cooperating with the police on the premise of the outcome. You know, this is, I mean, this is tantamount to what the junior minister in the Prime Minister's office did on his show when he asked the commissioner to take immediate action. Up to now, we don't know if the commissioner acted upon his own device or did he follow the instructions from the radio. Nobody knows because he wasn't pulled up. The Prime Minister didn't see it fit to tell his junior minister, well, this is not something that he should be doing on national radio. I mean, we just seems to be in some kind of wild, wild west situation here in St. Lucia, Tim. What is going on? What gives the Minister of Tourism to put his hand on a reporter to escort her out of the House of Parliament? There is police for that. If he was offended by something, he should have requested from the police that's on duty there to escort the person out if the person was being a nuisance. But he should not have manhandled her. Obviously, this is not right. And then for the speaker to be making those kind of pronouncements that she should be arrested because the case has been adjudicated by himself. You know, he is the chief cook and bottle washer. I really don't understand what is going on in our country, Tim. We are definitely not going down the right path, Tim.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, when a party in opposition criticizes infrastructure like roads, suggesting they don't directly improve livelihoods, that then focuses heavily on those same roads once in power, it reveals a few things. 1, political messaging versus governance reality. 2, public perception management, changing candidates who won in the last election, lack of confidence. Political parties changing their sitting MPs, candidates raises eyebrows as to whether the government is agreeing to the fact that they have not been performing, and is the Prime Minister not overseeing his members to have realized this earlier and assisted them, because this is disrespectful to the people who voted for them. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Don't you think that we have enough? Don't you think that we have enough evidence against the Speaker of the House for him to be fired forthwith? Don't you think that?
Caller, it's not for me to determine whether he should be fired forthwith, you know. It is for the the members of Parliament to reach that conclusion, to adjudicate on the matter. It's for the Prime Minister to make a decision on it. It's not for me to make that determination. And it is for the entire St. Lucian population to make that determination as well.
Exactly. I am ready to vote him out because that man have been lying to the public, to the wider country, Tim. You understand? Look at, for instance, when the Prime Minister said, like, the then Prime Minister, which is Alan Michael Chasney, borrowed money for COVID, and the Prime Minister denied that. He never said that. And Claudius Francis was citing it. Look at proof to you to date him. Like what Amanda, like the video that was circulating against Dr. Ernest Hille. That man have to go, Tim.
Okay, caller.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. But the police would have to adjudicate on this particular matter. It's not for me, it's not for the NewsSpin community to reach any kind of conclusion. But in such circumstances, unfortunately, there's some kind of tardiness on the part of the police to make pronouncements within a reasonable period. So let's say by later this week, we should be hearing from the police regarding this investigation, whether there is indeed an investigation, what was discovered when the CCTV footage was reviewed, and so on, just to, inform the St. Lucian public of something that's very important and something that definitely, as citizens, they would want answers to the various questions and also to their concerns. We have it on the call. This is NewsSpin. Good afternoon to you on the air.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon,
sir.
Amanda.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I must say, according to the video and what transpired, in the House of Parliament, I believe we St. Lucians, we are very coward. We are coward people. We are a coward nation. Because take, for instance, if it's any other country like England, that minister would have been fired. Okay? And I don't know why it's taken so long to investigate that matter. St. Lucians need to wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee. Too much is too much now. We need to act now. And St. Lucians need to wake up. It's not about talking now. It's, every time it's a talk. We need to walk the walk now. That's what I have to say.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Calling from the UK. Let's see if you have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let me go through some of your messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, if ministers cannot conduct themselves, what they expect from the criminals? Guess they lead by example. Another WhatsApp message, and it reads, I have only one thing to say to the St. Lucia Labour Party. Why is it that... Okay, I've read this before. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tim. I congratulate you on your work and to Amanda too. Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Colin.
Tim, the caller before the last one was posing a question to you that you would have posed to us, like, say, the NewsSpin question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask you if who was the one to do the firing and all that, He was asking you, what do you think? Do you think there's... And you would ask us this question. Do you think there was enough evidence to fire that person forthwith? That's what he was asking you. What do you think? Because you would ask us that.
Call it in that particular situation, do you think it matters what I think on that particular issue?
No, but you're a Lucian like us, Tim.
Yes, I'm a Lucian, but I believe in collective responsibility sometimes, And it is for the St. Lucian public, considering what has happened over the last few years, since Mr. Claudius Francis became the Speaker of the House. For me, it was a rhetorical question. I shouldn't even be answering that question.
Okay, Tim, let's look at evidence. At least for the past years, you say, but let's look at the last two. In the House...
Okay, let's put it this way, caller. In most jurisdictions where you have an educated society speaking out, where you have an active NGO community, your Barbados, your Trinidad, your Jamaica, Guyana, I think by now, Mr. Claudius Francis would have been history. But not so in St. Lucia.
But why? This is democracy, Not so?
The will of the people, that's what democracy is. The will of the people.
The people talking, but when all those people talk like that, why are not the fellas higher up now listening to the will of the people? They want votes,
Mm-hmm.
They want to listen when they want votes. But anyway, Tim, I don't know. It all seems like a whole big scheme to me. But anyway, let me just shift a little bit. I won't take too much of your time because I like to be educated. I went to get some refrigerant for my car. I put my own refrigerant in my car. I'm not a licensed refrigeration person, but I understand how it works because I did refrigeration on my own. But now there is a sign at a certain establishment saying that you have to have a license just to buy the refrigerant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the sign says, under the Act of Montreal 11 of 2011, I want to know, what does Montreal... Is there an act in St. Lucia that applies to us? Why are we under...
Well, maybe maybe it's a stipulation that was agreed to in that part of the world. So they would have met and they would have had discussions on that particular issue. So they just call it after the city in which the decision was made. That's basically what it is.
I know, but now we can't buy it and we're not living in Montreal.
No, it has nothing to do with Montreal. The only connection is because the decision was taken there, and maybe it's for the global community. You understand?
Yeah, but that wasn't so before,
So you have things like the Geneva Convention. It took place in Geneva. The agreement was reached there, but it applies to the world, the global community, sir.
I hear you. I hear you. But still, I don't know. I believe that so many of us that were used to that, and we've never heard of anybody dying or getting hand chopped off because their hand went down by the fan blade. It's just a connector you put on, you open the gas, you watch your gauge, if you know what you're doing, you put it in. But now they have to make me go and get a license.
Because you see, for the proper usage, sir, the proper usage.
But that's what
And
I'm telling you.
yeah, no. But we don't. You see, there's certain things that must be regulated, because we have a tendency of wanting to blame governments for everything. And when governments put certain regulations in place for our own safety, then we complain. Look, you told me you're an expert in this, but where you learned it, you said on your own, okay? On your own.
But Tim, just like you can be in jail and come out with a law degree, even if you don't do the law degree, you can learn the fundamentals so you can. It's like the Bible.
But it does not mean you can practice law, sir, if you're not called to the bar.
No. What I'm saying is
because many people have a law degree, but they have not been called. They didn't pass the final exam, etc., so they cannot practice.
Yeah, but we don't want to practice. We just understand. Okay, we understand how it works, so we can do it. It's like frying an egg. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. You won't tell me I have to get a license now to go in the kitchen to cook something if I didn't learn to be a chef or a cook. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me not waste too much time.
Okay, caller.
Going back to them two fellas, I don't know. I just see lies. The last one in the court with the Prime Minister, when he said that the loan, what it was, over the land. And then the speaker came and said he didn't say that when we all heard what he said.
About the government having taken loans from the NIC.
Right. And the second one pop up now where, as though he saw the footage already, he's saying the footage shows nothing like that, And then Hilaire says nothing like that happened, like he never even touched the person. So that shows that they are lying, just lying. And the guy was right when he said, call an authoritative person to escort the lady out. You cannot just put your hand on the person. Who did you birth that person? That's not your child. Anyway, Tim, thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. WhatsApp message, somebody says there is Lisa Jawayer coming up with the same failed recycle campaign tactic like Joachim Henry, pretending to be for the youth, very disingenuous, and once in power, nothing happens. Does she take people of Castries Southeast for fools? Doesn't she know we see right through her fakeness? Does she think handouts will help her gain votes after what we have received in the last 4 years? Let's see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, Tim, those hacks are so dangerous. So the first video the speaker put out wasn't AI, but this one is AI. Shaking my head. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, the harsh reality is that as the most monitored show, the government feels powerful at the House of Assembly and could not care with the cries of the people on this program. Well, what they don't realize is that they will get a rude awakening. Imagine when the Prime Minister gives any tax relief. I'm afraid so. Please, I'm appealing that you should keep the show going with the most monitored show. Okay, let's see there. If we have some more of your messages. Somebody says that it's obvious that the Speaker of the House must be neutral. Definitely not someone who is aligned to the governing party. More WhatsApp messages. Somebody says that Tim, kudos to the confidential source / police officer were the goners to share this portion of the CCTV footage. Justice, truth, and charity, our ideals. And another WhatsApp message. Okay, can't read this one. Any more comments to go through, Amanda? Good afternoon to you again.
Yes, Tim, quite a few. A NewsSpinner says that the SLP government is an existential threat to women. A commentary reads, the chief indoctrination officer has just given the children carte blanche to do whatever they want while tying the hands of the institutions. A commentary says, sadly, there was a time in St. Lucia where justice was determined by your last name or who was your nene or power. It appears that we're back in such an era when public officials can push a narrative even before an official investigation begins. Another commentary reads, Denry South realized that Prosper is in deep trouble regaining that seat. They are putting billboards all around the village, causing obstruction for drivers. When he first went up, there was only one, and now I think they have put up at least 10. Remember, these things are costly. I hope the poor of the poorest are seeing what is happening in Denry South. Someone says here the speaker is a thoroughly dishonest man. A commentary reads, the speaker's conduct.
Well, we can't say that with regard to his character and so on. Let's not say that anyone is dishonest without having the proof.
Right. A commentary reads, the speaker's conduct can best be described as an attempt to pervert the course of justice. A NewsSpinner says, is there a commission of former speakers of the House who can advise anyone currently holding that chair? Another commentary reads, the speaker deliberately and purposefully tried to lie to the nation. This is the highest level of incompetence. Okay, that word is misspelled. A commentary reads, before Richard came down and behaved like a fool, the reporter asked the speaker, can you answer a question, sir? He said he had nothing to say, but all of a sudden he had so much to say. Someone says, caller, they don't need police, a lawyer or judge. They have all of these people in-house. Our commentary reads, dishonesty, perversion of justice, interfering with an ongoing investigation, and a cover-up to protect the old boys club. Our commentary says, team, the head is rotten and we must get rid of the rest of the body, referring to this current government. Someone says, caller, the speaker will not be fired. He can only be removed when you and each of us go to the polls and vote sensibly. A commentary reads, the politicization of the civil service and police in St. Lucia is contributing to decline in governance. A few comments here from YouTube. It says, caller, if watching a child's hair will make the teachers teach better, then I'll help you complain. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as your hair is not looking nasty, then I do not see a problem. Another comment via YouTube, it says, I see no issues with hair covered or not covered once the environment is conducive for learning. A commentary says, morality gone with the wind. Comments via YouTube, it says, I saw the footage and as far as I'm concerned, nothing will happen because this is St. Lucia. They'll award her some money or an apology and all will be well. Let's see what the reporter will do. Commentary says, caller, you are not sure what to say because there is nothing to say other than politics will always be politics. The reporter will be okay and that won't change our thinking. And the commentary via YouTube, it says, caller, we've been walking the walk to elect nonsense only to complain later. Back to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. Maybe we'll have a final one from you before we conclude the broadcast. Somebody says that we don't need a license in Canada to buy a AC refrigerant for vehicles. We can walk into any hardware store and buy it. Thank you so much for that contribution. And by the way, buddy, hope you are doing okay over in Canada. Let's see there if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Okay, all right. Let's take a break. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and we'll be hearing from a politician, his take on the whole Eldris Charles saga.
We're just finished dinner, and before we all head off, let's do something very important. Let's go over our hurricane prep list. We need food, water, medicine, important documents. What else? Right, the generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting ours from Europa Hardware in Massad Grocery. Best prices around, and believe me, I don't want to hear, Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down when the power's out. Keep your family comfortable. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us today at 452-0763. Europa Hardware, located in Massad Grocery. We service what we sell.
Lucelec wishes to advise customers and the public that its customer service office at the Carolick Building in San Souci remains closed to facilitate urgent maintenance. The Lucelec Rodney Bay and Vieux-Fort offices are open to serve customers, and the kiosk in the Blue Coral Mall is available for all services except payments. Customers who wish to make payments during this closure are encouraged to access the My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com. Show pays online and walk-in service options, or participating financial institutions. Payments made via SurePay and My Account Direct on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be processed to customer accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account balances, please dial the automated account inquiry service line at 457-4433. Customers can access other Lucelec services by using the virtual service desk at lucelec.com. The management of Lucelec deeply regret any inconvenience caused by this closure and thanks its valued customers for their patience and
understanding. Without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what, we keep things flowing. We people, we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come, let your rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge. PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, it can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men.
Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
The National Insurance Corporation is now even closer to you. We've opened a brand new branch at the Blue Coral Mall in the heart of Castries. Our new location is more spacious, more convenient, and designed with you in mind, making your visits faster, easier, and more comfortable. Whether you're submitting a claim, checking your contributions, or planning for retirement, we're here to serve you better. With branches on the Castries waterfront, Rodney Bay, Viewport, Soufriere, and now our brand new location at Blue Coral Mall in Castries. Getting service from the NIC has never been more convenient. So, visit us today. NIC, for the benefit of us all.
I must congratulate Minerva Ward. I must say to Minerva Ward that she is an example of when one person decides to stand up to the bullies of our country. And what she has done tonight is that she has released a nuclear bomb in the belly of the Labour Party. And so we notice that they have changed how many candidates? Four. And they are struggling to find others. But don't be surprised if because of what Minerva Ward has done today, that we might see more candidates and more heads roll within the St. Lucia Labour Party. And the Speaker, I have to say to you that this is the lowest that you have gone. I understand that in the House of Assembly you will give us bad calls because you support your party. But haven't you learned anything from the lawsuits that you have lost against the leader of the opposition? Haven't you learned that you are not a judge? You are not a jury. You are not an investigator. You are not a man who is in prosecution. It is not your job to tell the people of St. Lucia what to believe and what not to believe. Let the investigation take its full course. And as the investigation takes its natural course, then we will know the truth and the real truth. I must congratulate Minerva Ward. I must say to Minerva Ward that she is an example of when one person decides to stand up to the bullies of our country. And what she has done tonight is that she has released a nuclear bomb in the belly of the Labour Party. And so we notice that they have changed how many candidates? Four. And they are struggling to find others. But don't be surprised if because of what Minerva Ward has done today, that we might see more candidates and more heads roll within the St. Lucia Labour Party. And the Speaker, I have to say to you that this is the lowest that you have gone. I understand that in the House of Assembly you will give us bad calls because you support your party. But haven't you learned anything from the lawsuits that you have lost against the leader of the opposition? Haven't you learned that you are not a judge? You are not a jury. You are not an investigator. You are not a man who is in prosecution. It is not your job to tell the people of St. Lucia what to believe and what not to believe. Let the investigation take its full course. And as the investigation takes its natural course, then we will know the truth and the real truth.
Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition, UWP, Senator Dominic Fiddy. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Final update from you, Amanda.
Tim, just a few comments from earlier. NewsSpinner says here, touching or grabbing anyone without their consent is an assault. Commentary reads, governments in this part of the world like it to be that way because it comes with immense financial benefits to them through their corrupt practices, which are guaranteed to go unpunished. And NewsSpinner says, Tim, I've never seen or heard of a Speaker of the House being a police, an investigator, a lawyer, and a judge only in St. Lucia. St. Lucians, open your eyes and smell the coffee. Another commentary reads, the best speaker was St. Clair Daniel. He wasn't biased. Someone says here, why the Speaker of the House always putting himself in something that has nothing to do with him or his job? He doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. Somebody please tell him what his job is. A few comments here from YouTube. Someone says there, our Speaker speaks for his party. It's called swearing allegiance to a political party and not to the country. Another commentary reads, St. Lucia's politics is so boring. We don't learn anything constructive from our selected leaders other than how to lie, cheat, and steal. And the commentary via YouTube, it says, Tim, you know we don't have politicians. We have are well-spoken poets. In the race, only a few are genuine and they do not last long. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Somebody says that via WhatsApp. Hi, Tim. We as St. Lucians are so divided and blind politically. I'm in my office and I'm listening to you. Another colleague in another office is listening to another talk show. Would you believe? I asked her if she believed the video put out is AI. She said, yes, it is. And nothing will come out because RF played the original tape on Thursday and nothing like that happened on the new video. She said UWP created that video. Shaking my head, Tim. And Tim, she is dash. Okay. All right, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says, well, Tim, PJP is not a police. His father was. Claudius is showing him who is the police. Okay, let's see there if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, remember when it took, please? Okay, all right, I can't understand this one. Okay. Good afternoon, Tim. What about your investigation about the Officer Tyson? Well, I have nothing yet to report on regarding Officer Tyson. Some people are asking questions as to whether Officer Tyson will be buried very soon after funeral service. What has happened to the postmortem? I have nothing to share with you. Rest assured, as soon as we have any information, it will be disseminated via this broadcast. Over in Guyana, in South America, people are voting today, and that is in general and regional elections. And President Afan Ali of the PPP Civic is trying to get re-election, and opposition leader Aubrey Norton of a Partnership for National Unity Coalition is trying to unseat him, as well as one Azruddin Mohammed. There are 2,790 polling stations, and the eligible voters number 757,690. So 757,690 people are eligible to vote in today's general and regional elections over in Guyana. And our NewsSpin question of the day, it reads, what should be next on the order of business for St. Lucia? What should be next on the order of business for St. Lucia? Our NewsSpin question of the day, followed by the NewsSpin news of the day. Guyana says patrol came under fire from Venezuela. No injuries reported. Guyana says patrol came under fire from Venezuela. No injuries reported. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.